Charles, yet again, we've selected a sort of humorous title and image to discuss something really not funny, just the whole indoctrination of the entire nation and how that's impacting everybody. How you feeling today?
I'm feeling great, and the art department, as usual, did a fantastic job.
Did somebody drop something there?
That right there.
I think they figured it out.
And I would just modify what you said. It's indoctrinating what's left of the nation, because I'm not sure we have much of a nation left at this point.
Yeah. Well, we got a lot of stuff to talk about, but unfortunately it's going to touch on several of these topics that YouTube and others in the mainstream have determined are verboten, literally not even allowed to talk about them. So what we've taken to doing here on Wednesdays is we're going to have a discussion in the First Amendment forum, and that's got to be supported on a server that I control and on platforms that don't stifle the First Amendment. So I hope that people will join us on subscribestar.com/crowdsourcethetruth, patreon.com/crowdsourcethetruth. In just half an hour, we're going to roll right into it after this. I want to talk a little bit, Charles, about what everybody's been saying about Joe Rogan and his use of ivermectin, the comments that Joe Rogan made yesterday, now that he's back to podcasting, he's back from being sick.
Right.
We're going to talk about Jimmy Kimmel, we're going to talk about Fauci, we're going to talk about Joe Biden. Joe Biden's going to release some kind of 6-point plan.
The only plan that works for me is one that begins with "I resign." What?
But he's not going to say that. But Popeyes has opened over there. We got a lot of...
You want to stop by? I'll treat you to some Popeyes.
No, we got a lot of disgusting fast food.
That's not disgusting.
Oh.
Yes, it is, actually.
Well, yeah, and we're going to get into a lot of these, some of the opinions that people have been sharing about who should or should not.
Should we go?
Wherever you want to go.
Let's go down that way and...
Oh yeah, let me just make sure everything's working. It's always a technical challenge to get these things off the ground. Uh-oh, yeah, there we are. Looks like we're live. Yeah, so maybe an overview, Charles. We want to be careful we don't go too far. I think we should be back to going. There was just a little burp in the stream there. But we can go from Popeyes to Dig to Chopped. I mean, Dippin' Dots, McDonald's. This whole street is dedicated to filling people with crap.
Or Arby's. They have the meats.
Unbelievable.
And that's surrounding Peter Thiel's building there.
How is that Peter Thiel's building?
Building right here, he owns it.
This one?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And then, poor guy here.
Yeah, there's been a real, I've noticed a big increase in the homeless problem, and you pointed out that it is a pretty common practice among homeless people in New York City to basically pick up a cigarette off the street and start smoking it. Now, I was in Whole Foods a week or two ago, and a guy was in there with a, not a Whole Foods shopping cart, but one of those kind of shopping carts that you can own, and it was filled with garbage. And the guy was walking all around the supermarket with a cart full of garbage. That's okay, but you're not allowed into a restaurant without a piece of paper on your face.
Krispy Kreme.
Oh yeah. This whole 23rd Street has been taken over by corporate junk food, Charles.
Amazing. Amazing. Yeah. And this is used to be Credit Suisse's headquarters, I think. I don't know if it still is. A lot of construction on 23rd Street here, a lot of renovation. Yeah. And what that means is these scaffoldings are going to be up through the fall and winter when it gets cold. So you're going to see more homeless people living in here. I have great sympathy for homeless people, and we all share in paying obscene amounts of money in theory to help them. But there's never any proper accounting for where those monies go.
Well, let me ask you this, though, before we get too into the money. Do you find that homeless people are respecting the social distance when they come up to you and ask for money, or are they just get in your face after smoking a cigarette off the street and rolling around a tanker full of garbage? And
yeah, I mean, as I say, I have some sympathy. Many homeless people are mentally afflicted, and it's not as simple as just saying clean them up or whatever. They're not all there. And I think that is one of the most challenging health issues how to identify whether somebody is mentally ill or not. Joe Biden, are you listening? Or other members of his cabinet, other supporters.
Do you think $850 million could possibly help with the homeless problem in New York City, and maybe Mayor de Blasio's wife might know something about where to find a missing $850 million? I don't understand why a bigger deal hasn't been made out of that.
I know, and they're across the street, you see another person. See? You may not be able to see by your angle.
I can't see it from here.
Right on the corner, there's the guy sitting down.
Well, we're going to walk around a bit and see what's going on.
Go back up that way.
here.
We'll go check out the specials at Krispy Kreme.
I think it's donuts.
Okay, why would you say that? It could be eclairs.
Oh, right, I see the guy. Well, I mean, listen, homeless people on the streets of New York is nothing new. But again, we're being told that there's such a tremendous problem that we have to make these fundamental changes to society and the way each of us conduct our lives, make changes to relationships as far as people not being able to see aging relatives in the hospital or in care homes. I saw a tweet somebody put out, a grandmother whose son, his wife had just had a baby, and the wife got the vaccination while she was pregnant.
Yeah.
And now would not allow the grandmother to see the child because the grandmother's not vaccinated, and the grandmother was lamenting how destructive this whole thing has been to some of the most sacred relationships. And you know, I think I might want to share something a little bit personal with our viewers when we do find ourselves in the First Amendment Forum. It's a little bit more of an intimate setting where it's kind of people who care about the show and are interested in hearing about this. But it's true, it really is destroying relationships and just changing the way every human on earth interacts with others.
Right. And here I have to say I do fault Trump for not saying in the very outset of this, no, wait a minute.
Right.
You know, 335 million Americans are all different in terms of their health profile. And we're not going to have a one-size-fits-all medical prescription for all these people.
For anything.
And we're certainly not going to do it in a way where we share with the nation what each individual chooses to do.
Right.
I mean, that's just crazy stuff.
But it came right in, and nobody's saying it. Look at this, we got a bong store on 23rd Street now, Charles. They're everywhere.
I guess I'll have to move in. You got your munchies, problem solved.
How many bongs could people possibly need?
That sounds like a Buddhist question.
And now McDonald's is competing with Krispy Kreme having their own donuts. Maybe
Here's this
Krispy
guy.
Kreme will make hamburgers.
You can subsidize the Stickies meal here. What did
It's
you
just
say?
nothing but, I don't know, I think he said a little health place, but it's nothing but junk food here, Charles. Why
Well,
are
chopped is a salad.
Maybe that's okay, I haven't been there.
It is, it's not bad. It's expensive for salad.
Right. Well, the good news, Charles, Crowdsource the Truth 5 is back in action, so people who've been missing us for the past week can catch up. I reloaded some of the videos that people missed when Crowdsource the Truth 5 got a strike. Very strange strike.
It is good.
But,
you know, for those who don't know New York City, this is kind of a nice view. You have the
yeah.
Empire State Building. What is that building to the right?
Just to the right of it?
The modern one.
All the way to the right there? Isn't that an apartment building?
Yes. Oh, yeah, on Madison there.
Yeah, they built some new, really tall apartment buildings.
This is that building that I nearly bought in. Right here.
Yeah. This Lens Crafters used to be the haircut place where the guy who I still get my haircut from used to work.
Back in the day. To think that this building went up in '82.
Yeah, I mean, it was new and fancy when I first moved to the city, for sure.
It's certainly
Hey,
convenient.
these people work at the hospital. Hey guys, is the hospital overrun?
They're not going to answer. They're too busy.
From them.
They're fraternizing.
You know, the other thing that's interesting, Charles, is that we'll talk about this on the sponsor exclusive segment on Patreon and Subscribestar. a lot of people I've been seeing online are talking about how hospitals are filled with unvaccinated people. I don't want to make any comment about
It's
that
hilarious.
here, but I have some things to say about that.
Good. Well, here we are in a pedestrian alley.
I kind of like it that they've done this. This was deemed one of the most dangerous crosswalks in New York City, and then I think Bloomberg did this, made it no cars over here. What do you think of that?
I think it's a good move. I think it's a good place to leave it, and then we'll have our people join us in the First Amendment Forum.
All right, yeah, we'll be there in just about 15 minutes, so we'll see everybody over there. Charles is anxious to get to talking about what he wants to talk about, so we'll see everybody in 15 minutes.